Welcome to Bluff Creek Radio. I am Jocelyn.
And I'm Jackson.
Today's special guest is Dave.
Hello.
Thanks for coming today.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
So what kind of consoles do you have on the Game and Ride?
On the Game and Ride, we have Xbox, PlayStation, and Wii consoles.
What got you inspired for Game and Ride?
What really inspired me for Game and Ride, it first started with always wanting to run my own business. And once I decided that I was going to do that, I looked at different options and I found Game and Ride. And I thought this would be awesome because I love working with kids. And obviously Game and Ride caters to doing a lot of kids events and bringing people together into a very fun, exciting atmosphere like Game and Ride provides was something that really appealed to me. And of course I asked my two daughters what they thought about it, and they said, "Dad, that is way cool." So I figured, let's give it a shot.
How many of each console do you have?
I have 4 Xboxes, 4 PlayStations, and 6 Wiis.
What's the most popular games you have for kids?
By far, the most popular is Minecraft. And I actually had to buy 2 extra copies. I originally bought 2. And then, because it was so popular, I went out and bought 2 more. So on our inside, where we have 4 TVs, you can actually have all 4 groups playing Minecraft at the same time. After Minecraft, the popularity varies by ages. A lot of times, maybe kids that are 7, 8, or 9, they really seem to like Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And some of the older kids, 11 and 12, they seem to like more of the sports games like Madden or NBA 2K14.
What kind of games do you have?
I have a wide variety of games. I don't carry any of the real violent games because I don't do events where those are being requested. Mm-hmm. Most of the games are, for the kids that are 7 to 12, and it covers all the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the Wii. For example, like the games I mentioned earlier, Mario Kart and Super Mario Brothers and Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I also have all of the Just Dance games, and those tend to be really popular for the girls' parties. And then, of course, all the sports games, the MLB, the NBA, the Maddens. And I do have some of what's called the first-person shooter games, the Call of Duty and the Halo games. But in many cases, the parents don't want those games to be played at a party. So I have 2 lists. I have a full list that shows every game that we have available, and there's about 90 of them. And then I also have what I call the edited list, where I remove all of those first-person shooter games and any of the mature-rated games. And so that way parents can feel comfortable that the kids are choosing a more appropriate game if they don't want that to be an option.
So, have you ever had a all-adult party?
Yes, I have. I've had a couple of them where companies have hired me to come in and entertain people that were there for a meeting. I also had a company that hired me to come in and do a team building exercise for the people that worked on his team. And that was really interesting because video games can be used in a number of different ways rather than just sitting around and kind of entertaining yourself. But in this way, it brought people closer together because you had a team of people where there were 2 people in that team that you could tell were really, really heavy into video games, and they were wanting to play Call of Duty. And you had a couple of people that were kind of familiar with it, and then there were a couple of people, they didn't know anything about video games. And by the end of the event, I had those people that were playing Call of Duty and the people that didn't know anything about video games. I got them together to play Mario Kart together. And they were laughing and joking, and they were, hitting each other on the shoulder. And after the event was over, they were walking into a restaurant to go to dinner together. And the relationship between those people, you could tell it had changed because they had this common ground of playing this silly game, Mario Kart, but they had so much fun, and it was a way for them to connect that they wouldn't have normally. So it was very interesting to see how what I do was able to bring people together in a different way than what might normally occur.
What's your favorite game on the Game and Ride?
My favorite game is Blur. And I don't, believe it or not, I don't play a lot of video games at all. But Blur is one that I really enjoy. It's a racing game. And you can pick your own car, and there's different kinds of real cars you can pick. And on most of the cars, you can actually pick what color you want. And there's all kinds of courses. There's different cities that you can race at all around the world, and there's different things you can do. If you don't want to do a race, you can also do, it's kind of like a smash up derby, and then there's some skill options. But Blur is the game. If I have some time, which isn't often, but if I have some time and I can play, that's the game I choose.
Have you ever got lost when you're trying to go somewhere?
Yes, I have, and I used all the technology that's available with GPS locators and things of that nature, but sometimes technology isn't perfect, and you can make mistakes even using technology. And there was a time that my GPS took me the wrong way to a location, and I ended up having to backtrack all the way around a lake, which made me 40 minutes late to that party, which wasn't very fun for any of us. But I made it up, and we had a great time at the party. But yeah, we still do on occasion get lost.
How many kids can you fit into the Game and Ride?
On the inside, we can fit 16 playing at the same time. So there's 4 TVs, so you have up to 4 players at each TV. And then on the outside, weather permitting, of course, there's 2 more panels that open up, and there's 2 more TVs outside. And there's an awning that extends out to cover that area. And so now we can have up to 8 more players outside. So combined between the inside and the outside, we can have up to 24 people all playing at the same time.
How'd you get all this stuff to do Game and Ride?
So Game and Ride is what's called the franchise. And franchise is a different type of a business concept where my own business is actually called DGS Enterprises. And so my business has a contract with Game and Ride that allows me to use the Game and Ride name. For example, a Subway or a McDonald's, it's the same thing. Those are mostly franchises. There's a corporate office, just like there is for Game and Ride, there's a corporate office for McDonald's. And people that want to run a McDonald's, they purchase the right from McDonald's corporate to be able to run their McDonald's as a McDonald's. And then there's certain things that you need to do so that McDonald's is comfortable that you're presenting that McDonald's brand name in the right way. It's the exact same thing with Game and Ride. So I bought a franchise from Game and Ride corporate, and as a result of that, one of the benefits is they provided me with the entire Game and Ride trailer completely outfitted. So I drove to New Jersey to pick up my trailer when it was done, and I drove it all the way back here to Minnesota, and I was ready to go as soon as I picked it up and drove it back.
How many parties have you had, like, all together?
Altogether, geez, that's a good question, and I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and look, but I've been doing this for 3 years now, and there's different types of parties that we do because, of course, we do a lot of birthday parties, But I've also done parties for like graduation open houses and, of course, school events and fundraisers and community events and like the 4th of July celebration in Chanhassen. I'm usually up there on the 3rd of July when people are up around all the carnival rides. So I would have to guess that I've probably done, oh geez, I would have to say 500 events.
Do you know how many things you do a year?
It would probably be somewhere in the area of about 150 to maybe 180.
How many fundraising events do you do?
We do probably about 12 to 14 a year. And the other attraction that we have, in addition to the Game and Ride, is our iDance system, which is based off the game Dance Dance Revolution. And that has 32 dance pads. And we actually had that here at Bluff Creek a couple of years ago at the Winter Carnival. And that system is something that we use a lot for fundraisers at schools.
Have you ever been out of the state for this?
Yes, I've been into Wisconsin for several events. And when I first started, when I mentioned that when I drove to New Jersey, I actually did an event in New Jersey before I brought the trailer back.